I, I had my Raiders shirt on today, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to pull a picture of the Legion Stadium and go all out. You know,
If you're going to do it, you better do it big, huh?
that's right. That's right.
When do you think we'll be back in? I mean, there's dates released. Do you think we'll actually have?
No, the latest I've heard is that they're probably only going to allow the people that have suites to be
Mhm.
in the stadium during their first few football games. That's the scuttlebutt. I can't tell you if it's true or not, but I just know that that's the scuttlebutt that I've been hearing lately.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think, everyone's like, okay, let's go. And it's like, it's not going to be, let's go. It's going to be slowly. We're going to roll things out. And so it's kind of a new, different norm for us, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're all we're also used to being shut into our houses that this whole exploring out to the public into public is going to be a little bit strange at first. Different people have different levels of feeling comfortable, and we just have to remember that when we're doing our dealings, working with clients and agents and tenants and everybody else, that if they feel a little insecure about being out in public, and that's okay. I mean, we've seen some news reports about people getting beat up for not wearing a mask. We've seen people getting yelled at for, not wearing a mask. People, we're all in this together, and, we all will survive this, hopefully, if we just allow people to be people and not just jump all over each other's back. My God, give everybody some space, and give everybody a break. You
Yeah.
know,
A little bit of respect. I actually feel like agents have been a lot kinder, and I think kinder is the word. People have been, maybe we've slowed down a little bit. And so there's just some more people are answering their phones, they're talking. It's,
yeah,
it's been, it's been good. I hope it continues.
yeah, and I mean, we've we've as realtors have tried to be the realtor family that we are. Um, I know a lot of realtors have a lot of questions with Saturday being, you know, the first day out. The association's been filled with comments about, you know, can I have an open house? Can I go pound on a door right now and start door knocking? What can I do? What can I do?
Like some common sense, right? That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today. Just kind of, um, I think as agents, we're a special breed because we're always, reaching out to the ends of limits sometimes, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. And I think, some common sense in this probably makes sense too. What are you doing now? What's happening at the association? What's happening with stage one? What does that look like for you?
Stage one at the association means that I believe we're not open to the agents and to the public yet. We're going to bring everybody back in, back to the association, and have the staff there, get them comfortable, get all the different new policies in place as far as making sure they have masks, that they understand where they can and can't go. No going from office to office, and that kind of stuff, and having the staff get their feet wet first, and then start opening up for appointments, because we have to maintain some stuff as far as 6 foot, the social distancing stuff inside, making sure that we have personal protective equipment for everybody that comes in. Um, you know, we the last thing any of us want to do, whether it's association or whether it's brokerages, is to be tracked back as a point of transmission. No one wants that bad PR. And hopefully we will get into some of the best practices that we can do as brokerages. I do want to say for right now, open houses are not allowed yet. Let me repeat that one. Open houses are not allowed yet. We're close. We're working with the governor. Chris Bishop's doing a great job of keeping those lines of communication open with Rocky and Carrera, Nevada, and the lobbyists and everything. Right now, stick with the virtual Matterport, stick with the virtual tours, virtual staging, putting them in the open house in the MLS and on Remine, and doing however else you've been doing for advertising. But please, and I know that there's people that I've gotten letters saying, I have to do an open house because that's the only way I made money in real estate, was holding open houses. I guarantee you, if you hold an open house and they catch you and throw you in jail, you're not making any more money than you would have if you just had waited a week or two. This is, we're right there, and now is not the time for us to go gallivanting around, showing our muscles off and saying, I'm going to do this no matter what. So please, 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 if there's one thing we get out of this conversation with UW, is that open houses are not ready to be done yet. Okay. Hang in there.
One more time?
Open houses are not ready to be done yet. We're almost there. Just gosh, because what we don't want to see happen is we move forward with one step and everybody just takes too much of that step and we end up being pulled back, because that's a real concern that the governor has had in his conversations. He is concerned that, if he opens it up too much, we're going to have a flare up, people are going to die, and he doesn't want that on his conscience. And I don't think any of us as realtors want to be that transmission point or have those deaths tracked back to us or any one of us.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Same thing with door knocking. Do not be door knocking. That makes no sense to me that you would think about doing something like that right now until it's time, right?
Yeah. Just do what you've been doing the last few weeks, few months. Enjoy. Look, if you have money, if you've done your business and been doing business, go out and have a dinner. Take out your significant other, take your family, go out and have dinner, go out to the park, go have a nice walk, get your hair done, get your nails done, do the little things that you all been complaining about that you couldn't do. But door knocking and open houses are not it. Anything else is pretty much on the list. But as Keith Lynham would say, the strip clubs are not open yet. So sorry, but we all live and die on strip clubs in Vegas, right?
I don't know. Not sure about that one. I think it is different, and I think we all need to be thinking about going out and really supporting the local restaurants, our mom and pop ones that are here. I know we've made conscious efforts to try to go and do that and help the people because they're struggling, and us going back out will be huge. We were talking on a call I was on earlier about how we've cut expenses, and one of the threads was we don't eat out anymore. Like we used to eat out 2 or 3 times a day, and now we're barely eating out anymore. And so it's definitely been a different and hurt them, I think, too, in that sense. What about best practices for agents out showing property? What are you guys suggesting?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. And let me just say, I'm also on a committee with the state to put together a road to recovery for real estate agents to help draft some of the governor's future stuff. And I can tell you this, we need to be very cautious in how we proceed. Think that I want to boil it down to something real simple, and that is that everybody should be thinking sanitize in, sanitize out. You want to be overly thinking and overly cautious about how you present yourself to not only your clients but also the property that you're showing. If it's a vacant house, let's start with vacant houses. Make sure, one, if somebody's thinking about driving clients around in their car, not really a good idea. um, because you got to sanitize it before they get in it. You got to sanitize it after they get in it. You got to wear personal protective equipment while they're in it. So if you want to be running around with masks on and looking sort of foolish, try to have them meet you there at the property. And if it's, like I said, if it's a vacant property, get there beforehand. Um, Go in, make sure you're wearing your protective equipment, masks and gloves, and sanitize the property before they even get there. I mean, I'm serious. You should be have one of the new tools of the realtor trade is a can of Lysol or Clorox wipes. Okay, guarantee that should be in your car at all times. And when you get to the house, sanitize the doorknob, sanitize the super box, open the house up, open the windows up, get ventilation in the property, have the closets open, have everything open so someone can walk through that house and see it and not have to touch a dang thing. Because if they touch it, you got to sanitize it. So let's, again, I'm gonna harp on this one, is we don't want to be the ones that it's tracked back to be a point of transmission. That's going to be key. If there's one thing that everybody gets from this is no open houses, 2, no door knocking, and 3, we don't want to be the ones that are causing transmission to go forward. I have notes, so I didn't miss anything. When they show up, make sure that they have their own personal protective equipment. Make sure that look. I hope by now everybody's figured out that if you haven't already shown a virtual tour and done all these things virtually first and made sure that these people, 1, are qualified, 2, are not looky-loos, and 3, you're not taking everybody from the extended family and Uncle Harold to the house to show them the house. You want the decision makers, and only the decision makers, going in to see this property, because we're the potential for death is there. And I don't think anybody wants to be, again, that realtor that is the one that's tracked back, that has found that this is the point of transmission, this is the realtor that did it. Oh my God, can you imagine the guilt that you would feel if that, just because you were trying to show someone a property, they ended up dying? I mean, I don't want that on my conscience, and I don't have much of a conscience, you know?
Well, and really, with all the technology that's out there, I mean, we've lived through this, and in some of our office Zoom calls, we've talked about people that have gotten a lead online from a virtual open, shown them property through virtual opens or for, electronically, and got through the whole process without ever meeting the person. So we are capable of doing it, and just being extra cautious and using, I feel like we've learned a lot of things from it, and it forced us to move forward quicker than we might have otherwise without it. And so we should really be exhausting all those things first. And there's no reason they can't go and drive past the property, make sure that they like what's in there, what's around it, the neighborhood, all that kind of stuff before you ever get them inside of it.
And quite honestly, I'm to the point where I'd like to see us sort of change the process. Let's move the interior inspection of the property to after we have an accepted contract, if at all possible. I mean, again, it's up to the clients because they make the decisions on that. But if we can have, it would alleviate so much pressure on all of us if we would just do that one item. And because being able to do an inspection, because it's part of the contract and part of the contractual agreement between 2 parties, changes so much. It changes with whether there's a tenant in there or not. It changes that. You can't stop a contract from moving forward, even though if you're a tenant. And we can talk about that a little bit more. And I know I'm raising some people's eyebrows right now, but one person that's renting a property can't stop a contractual agreement from moving forward because they live in the house. We have a little more oomph to force that forward when you have a contract in place than when you don't. The showing thing for the heck of seeing the property before they write a contract, I completely agree with the governor and leaving tenants alone. Once there is a contract and everybody has agreed to everything and we're doing appraisals and inspections, the tenant sort of has to give in a little bit. And I'll fight that at the AG's office any day. So, you know, that's where I'm at on that one.
Interesting. That's interesting news, because we've had some tenant properties and we're like, well, we can't get a photographer inside, we can't get a virtual inside, you know,
well, now again, the virtual stuff and that kind of stuff, that's to set up the marketing, completely different. I'm talking about, you know, you have a buyer, you have a seller, they're legit, your deal's legit, you just didn't write it up so you can go see the inside of the house. Anybody that's thinking about that one, don't. You know, it's all legit. That's something that if you get called in front of the AG's office, that you can say, look, this was a contractual agreement between two parties that we were moving forward on, and you're now telling me that the tenant can stop this contractual agreement. And I love and admire, and Aaron Ford's been a friend of mine. I will have that conversation with him every single day, and you know, we'll fight at Walmart about it, and well, not fight, we'll have that disagreement at Walmart about it. But you know, we can't stop the progress of selling a home once both parties are in contract. It's completely different than the looky-loo.
You know, it's interesting because when this first happened, you know, we all went home and we're trying to figure out what to do. And one of the conversations that I had is, you know, you guys, when you sell a fourplex, you never go inside of the thing until your contract's accepted, your financing's checked out, you're ready to go. So why is this too much different? I mean, we have great virtuals, we've got Matterports, we can see all kinds of stuff. And so you really, the only thing you can't do is smell, which can make a big difference in a house. But usually from the pictures, you get sort of an idea of the condition and what's going on. So that's good.
And we're so close, Debbie. We're so close to the end of having this all be done with and getting to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, whatever that's going to look like. But we're just so close for us to get overzealous and become too headstrong. I'm trying to be nice. For us to be too headstrong in our thinking, to force this and have it just blow up in our faces for just a few people would be terrible.
Silly. Yeah, I agree. I'm wondering about our membership. So we were up to, what was our membership and where are we?
You know, we were a little over 15,000 people. I can give you the number lost. We had like 360 agents that we dropped is all. We had close to 4,000 people that had not paid prior to May 1, and all paid but 300 and some odd.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
That is really excellent. Wow.
You know,
that's a lot than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. And I think out of that 4,000, only 800 and some odd took advantage of the payment plan. So most of them all paid in full. So thank you for those that, you know, found the wherewithal to be able to pay. I'm worried about how the key fee and the October MLS fee is coming out. So all you realtors out there, save your nickels and dimes, because, you know, we're a business and we have fees to pay throughout the course of the year. And for everybody else, you know, it might be a good time to think about the layaway plan, where you pay a little bit per month every month, so we don't have these issues going forward. So if you don't know what those are, call 784-5000, 784-5000. Ask about the layaway plan, a smart pay layaway, and, you know, get on a payment plan to take care of all of it. And you'll never have to worry about it again. It's just automatic. That's my ad for the day.
That's your ad for the day. Well, I think it's interesting, like going into this, so it's been 8 weeks now, and what a way to serve as president of a board. I would not wish it upon anybody, but you've done a great job getting the word out and um, being positive and being resourceful, I would say, and making sure that you're keeping us moving in the right direction so we can get out of this. What parting words of wisdom do you have for the agents that are out there? And some of them I still feel like are doing home projects and reorganizing their closets, and they haven't been doing much real estate. And I think that's what's going to bite them in the next 90 days.
Yeah. Look, you need to be now, especially now more than ever. I'll use some superlative. Now more than ever, you should be marketing yourself so that as we come out of this, you have a pipeline of people to sell to. Because if you're waiting for everything to open up, you're going to be behind the curve and just left in the dust. And I don't want to see that for any of our members. Don't be lulled into, I have some really good words, but I can't say them. Laziness comes into mind, but just do the work. Work is work, whether it's real estate work or construction work or anything. You can't sit at home and expect for it just to happen to you. You got to get out there. Now's the perfect time. People are going to be venturing out, so there's no more excuses, right? There's no more excuses for you to be not letting people know that you're a realtor.
Right now people are home and they're on their phone, and so if you call them, they answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Everybody's answering their phone. They were just happy to talk to somebody else other than who they're stuck in the house with. And by the way, the new ads for the realtors are out. They're little 15-second vignettes. They're all words with a little bit of music, but they're lighthearted. They get to the point of keeping it real and getting a realtor. I think it will be a big splash. They started today. Channel 13 had it on their news. You should be seeing them on 3, 5, 8, and 13 for sure. So look for those. You'll hear that little catchy tune, and just know that we're trying everything we can to make sure that the public is aware that realtors are here. We care, and yes, we're trying to make it lighthearted because damn, everything else you see on TV is so dark and gloomy. The last thing we wanted to do was put another dark and gloomy, we're here for you kind of commercial.
Not well received. Are they doing anything on social media at all?
I mean, it should be all over the place. They're just quick, catchy little things. And what we did was, it was pretty rather ingenious, is we scoured Facebook for all the little memes that you saw about being stuck in the house and the kitchenetta or bathroom landia, that kind of stuff, and made them into little quick little stories. It's been great. I think it'll play well with everybody out there, because it's time for us to be noticed, be different, and be lighthearted as we come out of this, and know that home is different. Home is where we've been stuck in, and a lot of people may have realized that the house that they were just stuck in for 8 weeks or whatever may not be the house that they want to stay in. So maybe wanting to make a move. So get out there and do the work, and reap the benefits of that work.
Get in the path of it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for visiting with us today. I appreciate it, and appreciate your leadership through this crazy time.
Thank you. It's been a weird trip. Nothing I expected. I can tell you that much.
Wasn't in the plans, but you got through it. So we'll continue.
So far.
It's good. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Talk
Bye-bye.
to you soon. Bye.
Bye.